Have you ever bought furniture home from a shop like IKEA, and the first thing you do is open up the box, and within the box you look for the instructions? So when we look at life, we're born, but there is no instruction manual. So I've spent a long time trying to understand this, that where is this instruction manual? And I realized that it's all rooted in discipline. How disciplined am I in these three areas? If I could be fully disciplined in these three areas, what would life look like? The first one of these is about nutrition. So to sustain this physical body, what am I actually fueling it with? And often the food that I'm eating, is it made to fuel my body to an optimal state? It's very, very difficult just to eat that pure food from the ground. We've all seen it, lots of people talk about it, all the nutritional specialists or on social media, how great their eating is. In reality, it's pretty tough. Right, it can depend on a number of different reasons why, mood being a big one, advertising, income levels, socializing. You know, if you have a very social life, you're going out, sometimes it's dictated to you what type of food is at an event or wherever it is that you're going out. So there's many different reasons for different people about nutrition, but imagine what life would look like if I could fuel this body with the right type of nutrition. One ingredient food that came from the ground, and my body was created to eat this food. There's no processing in this food. What would my life look like? And I actually went and did an experiment, a personal experiment, because I was so intrigued to see the impact that nutrition has on my body that I went for months without having any processed food. And I'll make a separate video on the impact that had on my mind, and the results were actually quite surprising. So nutrition, what kind of food am I eating in my life? Can I bring discipline to that? The second area is, am I exercising this body? Am I utilizing my body the way that it was meant to be, or is it a very sedentary life? Sitting in a chair in an upright position with kind of your elbows just on the table or whatever, and just, you know, your wrists just there typing away. Is that what my body was created to do? And if it wasn't, then what would life look like if I engaged in a little bit of physical exercise every single day, whatever that may be? As good as a walk, right? Just for half an hour a day. Go out, get some fresh air, some vitamin D. Our body is a gift, and we are hugely ungrateful for it. And so this last area is about, how do we understand and operate from a psycho-spiritual mind perspective? What am I doing from my psychological perspective on a daily basis? What kind of thoughts am I having? And then what kind of emotions does that lead to? And the emotional state that I end up in, which affects my mood, which affects my behavior, which stops me from going for physical walks, which makes me feel like I deserve to eat certain types of food that aren't good for me, looking for dopamine hits on social media, whatever it is, but it's changing the way that my life perhaps would have gone in this trajectory, but without being aware of my psychological state, I am then leading a life which is completely different. If I could bring discipline to these three areas: nutrition, what am I putting to fuel this body? Secondly, how am I using this physical body? Am I using this body the way that it was created to be used? And lastly, what am I doing to understand contentment? To understand self-compassion, compassion for others, to understand the psychological state of my mind, to be aware of my thoughts, to be aware of my emotions. What am I doing every day to gain that wisdom, to understand that, to then, and it doesn't end there, what am I doing in the day to apply that wisdom and actually to put it into practice on a daily basis? What am I doing in these three areas on a daily basis? Now, that might sound like a really tough thing to do, because of course we'd all love to understand our mind a little bit better, use our bodies more, to use physical exercise, and then also to understand nutrition and eating the right types of food. But this is the key bit. This isn't to say you need to be at your optimal right now. It's just to show that there is this door, then it's in my field of awareness. And if every single day I can choose to eat a little bit better than I did yesterday, a little bit more aware of the processed food that I'm eating, a little bit more aware of how my mood is affecting the food that I'm eating, a little bit more aware of physical exercise that I'm doing, and then just sitting and being present with my mind just for 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes more than yesterday. So the idea is to get marginal gains, slight little gains every single day, a little bit more than what you did yesterday, not to look for perfection, right? We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for a slight improvement on yesterday. That's it. I'd love for you to try this and see what kind of impact it has for you.